Next thing I want to talk about was the happenings in Great Britain. Um, it's a in the UK. I shouldn't use those terms interchangeably. They mean two different things. But anyways, there's a lot of chaos there. They had the Trump visit, which was kind of in the making, and there were a lot of protests. 250,000 in England on was it Friday alone. They came out in London, and then everywhere Trump went, he was followed by the big baby balloon of him because he's a 5-year-old baby. But they followed him around protesters. I mean, you had tens of thousands even in Scotland when he went there, making the point that that they don't like him, and that was a great thing. That was hopefully that everywhere he goes, he gets that, and he can run away and hide like the little baby bitch he is. But they should just keep going at him. It's all was surrounded, though. He kind of gave an interview before arriving there to undercut the weak, feeble Prime Minister, Theresa May, and their weak, feeble government, really. She just had announced a Brexit arrangement, and a couple of her major cabinet minister, including Boris Johnson, who's one of their versions of Trump. You could argue Nigel Farage is also a version of Trump there, but Boris Johnson, a little bit more mainstream version. So the bottom line is this government's in England is in shambles. This is a vicious Tory, like conservative government that really has it out for poor people, has it out for anybody that isn't their rich buddies. And their idea with this Brexit is kind of to turn England into a tax haven of sorts for the rich. So that's a situation to keep monitoring. They're right now struggling. They've fallen in the polls. Labor, hopefully the Labor Party, they're actually their version of the Democratic Party, has already embraced and has voted in a very good left-wing socialist leader, Jeremy Corbyn. And I would like to think that one day soon they'll be able to get him in as prime minister, because this guy would do a lot of great things and would really lead a left-wing revival. He's one of the top leaders and one of the best politicians out there. So we'll have to wait to see. Best politician, I know. A little bit of a oxymoron of sorts, but we'll have to see what happens. The polls, the Conservatives have been tanking badly, but of course they don't have to call election, so we'll see what happens. But that party is in turmoil. That government might fall anyways because it's got a real tenuous grip as it is. So time will tell, and that's something really to watch, because if that government falls, that could be another catalyst for a left-wing, left populism fight back against what's been rising in Europe, which is a really terrifying right-wing, proto-fascist type of governments that we see in Eastern Europe and Italy, a little bit in France, although they fought it off with centrist and Macron, who's not very popular, but he was at least, it's more of an anybody but the far right wingers for 3/4 of that population, or 2/3 actually. So that's at least good. But there's this rise, and it's driven by a lot of things: the immigration, the bad policy, the bad economic policies of the kind of current establishment governments. But there's also the issue of immigration from the Middle East, which is a lot of things went into that civil war starting, including Western policies, also internal dynamics, also climate change. So now these people are coming, and a lot of people don't like it when a lot of people who look different. They wouldn't care if at this point if the immigration was from white people. They're coming from Norway or Sweden, but because they're coming from Syria, they don't see them. A lot of people don't see them as equal human beings. So it's just a very sad, bad situation that I don't have a good answer for. But hopefully the left can rise and we can have good policies for poor people, for workers, while at the same time embracing, opposing bigotry and embracing racial and social justice. All right. Well, I'm off, and have a good rest of the night.